Doot doot doot. Figuring stuff out. Okay. Time to get back to opening trading cards. I'm going to start with these packs. This one's already opened because I need to see if there was a map. I needed a map token. I don't have any map tokens, and I just wanted to check. But I didn't really look at the cards in here. Then we've got these, which I got for playing at my LGS. And then we'll get back into the mystery booster packs. Oh, I don't have a bin. Be right back. I return. What, getting a bin? I'll also note I am testing multi-streaming onto YouTube also, but I have that set to higher quality with more delay. Oh, not letting me know that you were live. You found it. You know? If you care, you're here. Don't worry, Ace. I'm only streaming for you anyway. Everyone else is whatever. Let's look at these. But I am also live on YouTube. I should be. But that's just test. And on a much longer delay. But in 1440p. Chatting on Twitch is easier because that's more immediate. Again, YouTube, higher quality video, but the chat is much further. That stream's much further behind. Because that's the only way. That's the why it looks that good. It would look the same as the Twitch stream if I had it on a normal delay. So this way there's the choice. Unfortunately, that's the way it works. That's the compromise you have to make. Echo of Dust. Dusk. I'm not that excited about these Ixalan commons. I'm going to be real. This isn't like I don't have any attachment to these cards, so I'm probably going to just burn through these packs. Because I didn't draft this set, so We just care about rare. Oh, the belligerent. You know, I've like thought about putting this card in gladiator decks, and that it's just not quite. It never makes the cut. 4 mana is a lot in gladiator. But this is an interesting ability. In this cave. Okay. Ooh, I like this token punch out card for. I don't think I've ever. I knew these existed, but I don't think I've ever seen them. Nope. Nope. These are collated in the way where that I hate, where the rare is first. So we're gonna go backwards. Even though I don't care about any of these cards. I love land cycling. It's too bad they printed the Lord of the Rings one that are so fucking good. They make all the others kind of irrelevant. This card's sick. Insidious Roots. I've seen decks just fucking go off with this. I haven't really gotten it to work myself, but oh, curious inquiry. Oh, when it deals with combination, investigate, not draw a card. I see. Merfolk. We got a Merfolk. More disguise cards. War Leader's Call. Anthem. Boros. Airtight Alibi. I think this was good in draft. Like, surprisingly. They finally made one of these that was fucking good. In limited, at least. Bloomborough pack. Nope, can't. Impossible to open, though. Oh, is this? Oh, yes. The collation. There's no anticipation. Yeah, this card's totally playable. If what you want to do is, fly. The nice full art Bloomborough lands. I feel like I mostly have planes. Vren. The Relentless. This card's pretty sick. I don't think I've done anything with it, though. But it's certainly cool. Love rats. Big rat fan. I've played this one. When you're just playing enough otters that it's the chance at haste is worth it. Curious Forgers, totally solid magic card. Just good top end and limited. You know. Nothing too exciting. Nothing too exciting. Standard Magic the Gathering packs. You got a Gremlin token. Got emerge from the cocoon. These 13 or less life dual lands, which I've never played with ever. We are burning alive. I bottomed the rare. I put it at the back. Vanish from sight. The problem is you can do one of these that's destroy creature or planeswalker, and I'm in singleton formats. I'm so much more. I want my answers to answer either of those permanents, honestly. Or else you just lose to planeswalkers. And here's our rare. It's weird art for Unholy Annex and Ritual Chamber. End step, draw a card. If you control a demon, each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. Otherwise, you lose 2 life. You unlock this, and 5 mana unlock this target rate at 6/6. I don't know why they love pairing these, like, just like, what if you also just had a dumb big 6/6 with your value to, or sometimes they do it on tutors. Like, if I'm down for the tutor, I mean, that's just value. It's just value. 2 life per card is still probably worth it, but gets into the territory of actually being a cost, I think. You get front and backside rooms. 4 rooms to a card. Artist series. I don't even know what card this is. Oh, hey, it's the card the professor hates. It's like whatever common. I honestly, the idea that you would have such strong feelings about a modern common, couldn't be me. Whatever. I love, I'm not going to get into why some other person watches fucking pack opening video on this set. It was just a thing I remembered because it stood out to me. Like, why though? I love Manifest Dread. It's such a cool ability. I have a Gladiator deck that's sort of built around, like, putting the best creatures like Emrakul and Atraxa under a Manifest Dread effect and then flickering them. It's not the best deck, but it's so fucking fun. It's so fun. I'm so glad there are like so many. They're like, I wish there were more, but there's enough to build a deck is like the important thing. This is a good aggro room. Also, rooms, good mechanic. They're island cycling, baby. Forest cycling. Another acrobatic Sheilari leader. Because I think it's just because he's a normal person that can fly. I don't know. And we got Enduring Courage, which is not which is bottom tier probably of this cycle. But this cycle is so cool. My favorite weird interaction I've seen with these cards is if you phantasmal image this and then the phantasmal image dies, the phantasmal image comes back as an enchantment, but its copy ability triggers again. So then it becomes an enchantment version of some new permanent on the field. It's just a very strange interaction that I didn't anticipate would be how it worked. I think we have 3 baseball bats. The thing with Duskmorn IMO is some of the cards are fucking sick and some of them are whatever. I just okay. That's I think the horror stuff in the set is sick. And I think the Ghostbuster aesthetic sucks. Their fake Ghostbusters are boring. And I hate their little green squares. I think that's boring. Or like creatively bankrupt. I don't know. I haven't disliked something about Magic Design as much as I dislike their fake Ghostbusters. But the rest of the set is cool. But I actually really think their fake Ghostbuster stuff sucks. Whereas I think everything about Bloomborough Design Rise for what it's doing is fucking perfect. For comparison. Let's get into like an actually good booster pack. Yeah, I don't really care that it's fake Ghostbusters. I just think what they chose for the theming on those cards looks like just sucks to look at. I don't like how any of those cards look. As opposed to this, which is it's a card. 3 mana and maybe one day I can tap 2 and discard a card to make it a real Magic card. Yeah, this card's bad. Bad? This is a bad card, which makes sense because it's from Mercadian Masks, which was is just full of some bad Magic cards. But in a way, I still love that set because of nostalgia. But they were trying to bring down the power level after the Urza block. Well, you would never play this. You play Acidic Slime, the green ones, Acidic Slime. Why can I not remember the 3 mana destroy artifact or enchantment green creature? That's on rate for this effect. The problem is this has to sit around for a whole turn cycle, and then you have to put more mana into it and discard a card. It's like the triple play of this not being effective. Release the dogs. Who let the dogs out? It was me. They charge into battle and out for their morning walk with the same exuberance. I can't. It took them so long to get there, to finally say, what if dogs though? Fucking hounds for the longest time. Oh right, repeatable. You can do it more than once. I'm dumb. I forgot that's the whole point of these cards. This just is my favorite one. Now show me the blue one. Waterfront Bouncer, and I'll be like, this card's sick. This card's great. But see, this card's in white, and it's not a rebel. So what are you doing? If you're playing Mercadian Masks and you're playing white and you're not on Rebels, what are you doing? You just want Rebels. Other colors can do the... Other colors get to cast spells. Not you. Acquisition Octopus. I don't remember this card from Neo Kamigawa. It's an Ophidian equipment. It's just a lot of mana for that effect. Hellish Lord that's not recent magic. Don't act like that's recent magic. As long as you can control planes, it has first strike and lifelink. Ooh. See, this is what your Merfolk deck needs. First strike and lifelink. And playing white. It's a 2-drop. That's not a Lord. It's exactly what you want. Mogi's Favor. Not the best escape card, but escape is a broken mechanic. Lash of Malice. Worse deadweight, even though it's an instant. Because it's harder to recur. Big Score. These cards are just good. If this is what you want to do, draw cards and make treasure. Storm off. Just good cards. Here we go. Here we go. Pillaging Horde. 4 mana. 5/5. Above rate. When it comes into play from your hand, which I think means cast, comes into play from your hand. Those words don't mean that though, but I bet I wonder how it's errated. Discard a card at random from your hand or destroy Pillaging Horde. I need the errata. Enters! Just enters! That's so much worse. That's so much worse. God, that's so much worse than what's printed, the words printed on the card. That's unfortunate. Look, it's a bear. I would never resort. That's not true. When I first built my bear deck, I did play these cards, but the theming is just so bad to play this in the bear deck. Because the art, I need a version of the art that's just a bear, and then honestly would be an all-star and go right in the deck. Oh, we're breaking things. What a disgustingly broken Magic card. Oh, but this combos with Devoted Druid. Fucking of course it does. Fucking what doesn't combo with Devoted Druid, though? Just like... crack Magic in half. Painted Bluffs. It's a desert. There are a million of these, but this one's a desert. Which is relevant because in Outlaws at Thunder Junction, they printed all those. They printed a bunch of find a basic land or a desert cards. So if you're a desert, you're actually ahead of the game. You're fetchable in a way, or gettable with land searching cards. Archivist of Ogma. I feel like I've never really played with this card, but I was putting it in like all my white EDH decks for a while. But I mean, like a normal game, I don't know that this is... It's worth a slot, honestly. I feel like I'd rather play other cards. Here's our white border card. It's the King. It's King's Assassin. Destroy target tapped creature. Activate only during your turn before attackers are declared. Because, you know, you got to get the jump on Kings. I guess. I don't. Those timing restrictions. We got our future sight. It's Rot Hulk. 7 mana, 5/5 menace. When it enters the battlefield, return up to X target zombie cards from your graveyard to the battlefield, where X is the number of opponents you have. I don't think I've ever seen this card. Like legit. This is not one I know. 7 mana, return 3 zombies. If you're playing zombie EDH, I guess this is zombie like recursion focused zombie EDH. This feels like, yeah, I'm doing this. Turn my 1 reanimate thing into a 3 reanimate thing. Yeah, that's the kind of going over the top that's fun. It might get cut. That card might get cut for better creatures, but I wonder. I haven't built like zombie focused. I haven't really built reanimation focus in EDH, really. I get too scared of graveyard hate when I really shouldn't. I don't know. I'm mostly wistful about it because truly I love reanimation as a strategy. It's like it's one of the core ones for me. And I don't get to play it enough because it's either not good enough or like banned to be not good enough in the formats. Like in Gladiator, we had to ban reanimate. It was too good. All the decks became reanimate decks. It was just a card you would play in every deck if it were illegal. I just want animate dead and necromancy. Give me the 2 and 3 mana ones. I hate the 4 mana and up ones. I'm like, ugh. Who's that Praetor? 6 mana sorcery. Choose one at random. Create a token that's a copy of the chosen card. Elish Nord, mother. So we got our Elish. Mother of Machines? Is that the... Which one is Mother of Machines? Is that 5 mana one? Elish Norn. Mother of Machines. Okay, you got it. Just as I finish typing. Yeah. This is panharmonic. Mom? There's a way to say to merge panharmonicon and mom. Panharmonic mom? I feel like I'm not saying it right. Yeah. I think I've played that one more than I've played the 7 mana one at this point. It's just very funny resolving a Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, and then your opponent goes, which I guess can happen with the other one too. But it's much funnier when it's with a 5 mana spell and your opponent goes, oh, well, I guess my deck is turned off because all my creatures are ETBs. All my like removal is I'm relying on solitude over here. Huh. Whoops. And then it can also be Gingitactus, Shieldred the Apocalypse, which is 4 mana Shieldred, Urbrask, Heretic Praetor, I don't know what Urbrask that is. Vorinclex Monstrous Raider, I don't know what Vorinclex that is, and Ebon Praetor. I assume those are all ones from. You know, I'm not gonna assume. I have no idea. I have no idea what those ones were, and I kinda don't care. That's hard. Because, like, also this is a sorcery. It is colorless. You can just put this in any deck. That's kind of sick. I think that's the big upside, is a sorcery that's 6 mana and colorless. I don't think I even know what Ebon Praetor looks like. No, I think they call her Panharmonic Mommy or something. It's definitely more of a pun version of saying that card's name. What if you control the planes, and you tapped an untapped creature, and then your creatures get +1/+1 until end of turn? The problem is, I don't want to have to tap one of my creatures. That thing needs to attack. It is a free spell, though. So it's like automatically makes your EDH deck a 2. I guess. I don't know. Here we go. Here's a banger. Fairy Guide Mother. It's got an Inventor side where you tap 2 and target creature gets +2/+1 in flying, and it's a 1/1 flyer. Just a solid magic card. You want to play an aggro card? I got this 1/1 flyer. Surgical Spellbomb. The benefit of this over Aether Spellbomb is that it's more mana, but you get to return a card and to draw a card. But only as a sorcery. I feel like I've seen this played way more than I would have expected. Talrand's Invocation. Create 2/2 blue drakes. Its flavor text mentions Chandelar. So, you know. 1 point for Chandelar. Arrogant Vampire. Now here's a magic card. Your 5 mana 4/3 flyer. Charm and Grace may hide a foul heart. This is a, this is a portal creature. This is a beater. Ruthless Knave. 3 mana for a 3/2 Orc Pirate. Oh, I want to build. I've looked at Orc Tribal for Commander for EDH, and it's just not quite enough for me. This is tap 3, sack a creature, create 2 treasure tokens, and you can sack 3 treasures to draw a card. Exuberant Fuseling. 0/1 Trample. Gets +1/+0 for each oil counter on it. It enters the battlefield, and whenever another creature or artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you put an oil counter on it. Stoke the Flames. 4 mana, 4 damage to target creature player with Convoke. This was good. I don't remember if it was just standard or something, but I definitely played this and was like, this is burn. This was a time where this burn deck, this was your top end. And it was, you killed people with this. They died. Destiny Spinner. Creature, a 2/3 for 2 mana. Creature enchantment spells you control can't be countered. Never like oil counters. As a Phyrexian fan, I have no problem with oil counters. I don't think any of the oil counter cards are particularly my faves. There's some that are pretty good, but yeah, I have no feelings about it otherwise. The fact that this can also turn lands into elemental creatures with trample and haste is kind of beside the point. Because you're playing this because you want an enchantment creature and you don't want your stuff countered. It's oil. It's smooth and some other adjective for smooth, and it gets everywhere. Snake Pit. Whenever an opponent plays a blue or black spell, you may put a 1/1 green snake creature token into play. If the ground is smooth, the way will be rough. We got a old school tap land. These aren't very good. I didn't love them even when they were arguably good and playable. That time has passed. We got a banger of a Magic card. I'm going to let you know. We have a banger of a Magic card. You just fair. The fairest card. Nothing could be fairer. Balanced. Perfect balance. Except that it doesn't affect planeswalkers. Because it's too old. This card's sick. 2 mana Wrath of God for your control deck is pretty good. Also, I finally noticed you over in YouTube chat, Ball. YouTube chat's on a delay, by the way. That's why it looks so fucking good. Each player chooses a number of lands he controls equal to the number of lands controlled by the player who controls the fewest. Then sacrifice the rest. Players discard cards and sacrifice creatures the same way. It's also a reason to sandbag your lands and then balance. It's just... oh, what a good card. And we have White Bordered Swamp. Oh, no. White Bordered Snow-Covered Swamp. Excuse me. Snow-Covered Swamp, not one of the colors where snow matters, really. There is that 6 mana board wipe. But really it's like islands and mountains are the snow-covered lands you want the most. I like and snow-covered forests to me because of that one bear. There's one 4-mana bear that cares about snow-covered forests. So my bear deck has all snow-covered forests. And we've got Future. The future of Magic is acting for the greater good. 4-mana enchantment that lets you sacrifice a creature, draw cards equal to the sacrificed creature's power, and then discard 3 cards. And it's got a Mary Shelley Frankenstein quote on it. To examine the cause of life, we must first have recourse to death. Fantastic. Now we have Duelist Convocational International for 3 mana with the DCI logo and place for your player's name and your DCI number. It's an enchantment. When Duelist Convocation International enters the battlefield, choose a 10-digit number at random and write it down. Whenever you play a land or cast a spell, if it shares a mana value with one or more uncrossed digits in the chosen number, cross out one of those digits and draw a card. Then, if all 10 digits are crossed out, you win the game. That's a magic card. It's sort of a magic card, since it is a fake joke card. I wonder what the... It'd be hard to deck build around, because you need like 9 mana things. Oh, I missed. Revel Squad? Whenever you're attacked, if it's untapped, you can untap all creatures you control. The whenever you're attacked part makes this not broken, and thus kind of unplayable. But it's a 4-mana 3/3, so, you know. Am I doing 2 different encodes? I think I'm doing 2 different encodes. I literally don't remember, because I set this up like 2 weeks ago or whatever, and today I just pushed a button mostly. I literally don't remember what I did. Consul's Lieutenant. 1 white, 2 white for a 2/1 first strike with Renown 1. If it deals combat damage to a player, if it isn't renowned, you put a 1/1 counter on it, and it becomes renowned. When it attacks, if it's renowned, other attacking creatures you control get +1/+1 until the turn. Is this Magic Origins, I think? I never played this set. No feelings towards this. Doesn't seem... I have no idea where it's at within that archetype. Nothing. I got nothing for that card. Web of Inertia. 3 mana enchantment. From... Judgment? Kamigawa? No. Judgment? Judgment. At the beginning of each opponent's combat phase, that player may remove a card in his or her graveyard from the game. If that player doesn't, creatures he or she controls can't attack you this turn. Cephalids specialize in lose-lose situations. Yeah, this card's bad. Removing 1 card from your graveyard is not a big enough cost if someone wants to attack you. I guess if you play... I think Rest in Peace came later. I feel like if you had Rest in Peace or Leyline of the Void, then I guess this would be good. in like Commander. Miscalculation. Counter target spell unless its caster pays an additional 2. With cycling 2. It's bad mana leak. But it has cycling. Probably you'd still just play mana leak. If you could. Shade's Form. 3 mana, enchant creature. It becomes a shade. Enchanted creature has tap. It doesn't actually become a shade. It doesn't get creature type shade, which it should. But it gets the ability tap 1 black. This creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn, which is the classic shade ability. And whenever enchanted creature is put into a graveyard, return that creature to play under your control. So that's like that's like early attempts at making enchant creatures not dog shit. Honestly, the interesting thing in this probably got played more for putting this on your opponent's good creature and then killing it, so that you got it. That probably got used more than the shade ability. Although I mean maybe not limited, but I don't know how much you're picking that in limited either though. I feel like that's the play with that card though. Oh, we got a classic. Not classic art, but a classic card. Necrotl. 4 mana, human assassin, 2/1 first strike. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target non-artifact, non-black creature. That creature can be regenerated. This is conspiracy art. Is that conspiracy 2? I don't know the difference between the conspiracy set symbols. I don't know which one is which. But it has a little tail thing, so that feels like a 2. I don't know. Give me 2 vibes. We got another classic Magic card, this time with classic Magic art and frame. One of the guys. It's Migrator. 1/1. 1 mana goblin. Sacrifice a goblin. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. With the classic Brian Snoddy. Snowdy? There's a line over that art from Tempest. Classic. We've got Ren's Resolve. Tap 2 mana, sorcery, exile, tap 2 cards in your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play these cards. There are 2 of these. There's another one that's exactly this card with a different name. These cards are just good. Having a whole extra turn to play those cards, it just makes it good. In a way that, like, 2 mana, you have to play it this turn when you've already spent 2 mana is less good. We got a vanilla creature. Garavoraz. 6 mana, 7/7. Horror elemental. Its flavor text is in Spanish. That's fun. I guess this card is just in Spanish. Because it doesn't say creature. But it does say horror elemental. I don't know what's going on with this thing. That's very funny, though. Oh, man. We got Muscle Burst. 2 mana, instant from Odyssey. Target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, while X is 3 plus the number of Muscle Burst cards in all graveyards. So, the thing with this card, this on its own, it's fine. You know, obviously, in a world of singleton formats, this card is terrible. What's its actual name? Because was that the name also changed to Spanish, or is that? I feel like Garavora's is not its actual English name. The thing with Muscle Burst in particular that really set it apart from the other cards with this effect. I think the first one was Kindle, which is from a previous set, and then they did a whole cycle of them in Odyssey, is that there is a creature that lets you sacrifice it to search for a land that then, when it's in your graveyard, counts as a Muscle Burst. So you could have, technically, Vorse Claw. Okay. Yeah. So technically you could have like 8 Muscle Bursts in your deck instead of 4. So that's sick. That's just cool. As far as like Timmy Magic goes. That's just neat. And it was some kind of farmer card. We got Serrated Biskellion. One of the lesser known Skellions. 3 mana 2/2. You can put a -1/-1 counter on it and put a -1/-1 counter on target creature. Whereas I was created to protect, the Biskellion was created to destroy. That's not even. Like, creation is way ahead if they have card on their side and destruction just has Serrated Biskellion. That's not a even fight. Mishra's gonna lose that war. Let me tell you. Iroas, God of Victory. 4 mana. 2 and a red-white. Legendary enchantment creature God. 7 for indestructible. So as long as your devotion to red and white is less than 7, it isn't a creature. Creatures you control have menace. Prevent all damage that will be dealt to attacking creatures you control. I remember like being in debate about this for Men Without Shirts EDH deck because he's wearing a chest plate. I think I decided no. That's too close to a shirt. Now we have, his full chest is covered. That's kind of the thing. A white border card. White bordered Tarnished Citadel. Tap to add a colorless mana, or you can tap to add 1 mana of any color, and it deals 3 damage to you. This is a Tarnished Citadel is one of those cards I feel like only got started getting play in EDH because the 3 damage is like, I have 40 life, fucking whatever. If you're in the the town for a land that adds 1 mana of any color, absurd deck or whatever. I don't even know what set Tarnished Citadel's from. Honestly, I don't remember. Oh baby, the future of Magic. It's the Rack. A card so good it had a deck named after it. As the rack enters the battlefield, choose an opponent. At the beginning of the chosen player's upkeep, the rack deals X damage to that player, or X is 3 minus the number of cards in their hand. It was an Odyssey. That's crazy. It definitely was not a card that I ever thought of playing in Odyssey, I will say. The rack is a classic. Remember when this was modern playable? No. If I'm being real, I do not remember when this was modern playable. I think of the rack as a much, when it was playable, much older than fucking modern, I guess. If you're not also playing, if Mind Twist isn't also legal, I don't know about the rack. I can't remember the other one, because there's the one that deals damage if you have too many cards in your hand. That was weirdly the one when I discovered these cards that I liked more at the time. And I don't remember why. But Immerstrom Battlefield. 2 mana for an enchantment realm. Hosted creatures get +2/+0 and have haste. You can host this for 2 mana. Host target creature at this realm. A realm can host any number of creatures. Oh. So you have to pay 4 mana for this to do anything? That's bad. It's just mana intensive for what this kind of deck wants to do. Aggro Hasty deck. But it's interesting. It's bad. But it is funny. It's fake realm as a enchantment type. Yeah, subtype. A sub would host people at his house. Or whatever. Their house. Genji of the Fields. Enchant Plains. 2 mana. Until end of turn, Enchanted Plains becomes a 2/5 white spirit creature with whenever this creature deals damage, you gain that much life. It's still a land. Remember before lifelink? When Enchanted Plains is put into a graveyard, you may return Genji of the Fields from your graveyard to your hand. Trying to make auras good. Playable. It's desperate. Desperate for people to play auras. I have to sneeze. Silent Hill Magic the Gathering when? Well, they're currently doing, I think, a real Ghostbusters Secret Lair. So that's like 80s nostalgia. So when Silent Hill fans are in their 40s, like late 40s, maybe we get Silent Hill. I don't know. I mean, they're also doing Hatsune Miku, so who fucking knows. When Konami answers their phone. Exactly, 2 years. I love the Genju cycle. I love these cycle of these things. This is not my favorite one, but there is the 5-mana legendary one, which is sick. Yeah. Like what's the horror stuff they've done? They've done Junji Ito, they've done Evil Dead. They're doing Ghostbusters, I guess. Sort of related. I don't know. We've got Angel of Light. 5-mana, 3/3 vigilance. And they've done all those they've done more generic stuff. This is just not. This is. There are limited environments where this is fucking great. But otherwise, it's no Sarah Angel. Phyrexian mana. 3/1 Phyrexian blue. Phyrexian blue can be paid with either 1 blue mana or 2 life. Draw 2 cards, then proliferate. Yeah. I mean, I think that the thing I like about this is you can just pay 3 colorless. That's pretty, but it's a sorcery. So it's just divination with proliferate. Really? I guess I forgot to list The Walking Dead and Stranger Things when listing out horror properties they worked with, I guess. I'm sure I've missed something else. Video game wise, they've done Street Fighter. And Miku, I guess. Scion of the Glaciers. 4-mana, 2/5 elemental with 1 blue mana, gets +1, -1 until end of turn. It's like fixed Morphling. It's not any. It's bad. Morphling was good, but Foot Bottom Feast. 3-mana instant. Put any number of target creature cards from your graveyard on top of your library. Draw a card. Why isn't this like a tribal instant? It's from Lorwyn. I wonder if it was at some point in development. Skull Snatcher. 2-mana, 2/1 Rat Ninja with Ninjutsu. When it deals combat damage to a player, remove up to 2 cards in that player's graveyard from the game. Not one of the better ninja rats, but it's a ninja rat. Inspired Tinkering. 5-mana sorcery. Exile top 3 cards of your library until end of your next turn. You may play those cards. Create 3 treasure tokens. This is a Battle for Baldur's Gate card, I think. I've never seen this card played. But that's powerful. And you get to create 3 treasure tokens. Yeah, but it's a commander set. If you're playing, Baldur's Gate limited commander. Yes. Uh-huh. Kieran Negotiations. 4 mana enchantment. Tap an untapped creature you control. Deals 1 damage to target player. I love this art because there is a goblin with this blowpipe card that's a pinger too in this set, I think. So that's just good flavor. Yeah. Sudden Spinnerets. 1 mana instant target creature gets +1/+3 until end of turn. Put a reach counter on it. Untap it. From Ikoria. I don't know that +1/+3 is getting you anywhere in Ikoria even limited. If I'm being real. Evolutionary Escalation. Beginning of your upkeep, put 3 1/1 counters on target creature you control, and 3 1/1 counters on target creature and opponent controls. Survival is a constant competition form with which both sides can benefit. There's like no way this makes the cut in your commander deck, but there's part of me that wants to play a deck where you would play this. Quicksilver Dagger. It does the whole thing. You like to ping? You like to put curiosity on your pingers? Well, we got the card for you. It's Quicksilver Dagger. 1 a blue and a red. Enchanted creature has tapped. This creature deals 1 damage to target player. You draw a card. This was just putting together 2 effects people like to pair together and putting it on 1 card. It's the end of history of Magic. It's like, oh, you like doing these things. What if you didn't have to work for it? What if we just gave you 1 card that did everything? Grim Hireling. 4 mana, 3/2. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, create 2 treasures. 1 black. Sacrifice X treasures. Target creature gets -X until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Such a commander card. 2 treasures? Now we have White Border. Jace Beleren. It's not the Jace you want, but it's the Jace you've got. 3 mana Planeswalker. +2, each player draws a card. -1, target player draws a card. -10, target player mills 20 cards. Yeah. And now for the future of Magic. The future of Magic, we've got to tinker. We've got to tinker. I kind of don't know why Tinker isn't on the reserve list. Like, it's old enough to have been on the reserve list. It's certainly like one of those broken Magic cards of all time, but it didn't make it on the reserve list, so it's basically unplayable because it's banned and everything, because it's way too powerful. But also, like, it's restricted in Vintage, but also it's a super cheap card to acquire because they can just reprint it. And not that many people need it. but it sure is fucking powerful. It sure is like a card that gets put in the name of vintage decks to this day on account of being a main way in which you win games. Flanking Listed. 2 mana 1/1 summon Listed. I love that it says summon Listed. Tap 1 red, tap it. It loses this ability and becomes a creature enchantment that reads enchant a creature gains flanking instead of a creature. And you can move Flanking Listed onto a creature and you may pay 1 to end this effect. There was a listed cycle of you turn the listeds into enchantments, enchant creatures, and then you can turn them back. They're not good. None of them are good, but this is fun. And flanking is a funny ability. That's also not super impactful. Give me 1 sec. I'm getting like stuffed up talking here for some reason. Alright, I returned. Time to crack this booster pack of Deckmasters Magic the Gathering. I'd like to thank you all for joining me on this journey to nowhere. 2 mana, exile target creature. If Journey to Nowhere dies, that creature gets to come back. Just a solid piece of removal that basically kind of outmoded, but it's still really good. It's like, but there's just better stuff. Splendor Mare. 3 mana, 3/3 lifelink with cycling, and you can put, if you cycle it, you can put a lifelink counter on a thing. I assume these were played in limited. I don't think I ever did the cycling for the counter, ability counter stuff, though, personally. Rise from the Tides. That's that symbol. Create a tapped 2/2 black zombie creature token for each instant or sorcery card in your graveyard. That's what we call a game ender, although it's so much mana, you would never want to play it. And in limited, you wouldn't have enough instant sorceries to play it. Kelpbeguile. You 3 mana 2/2 beast. You can tap it to untap another permanent you control, or you can tap it to tap target permanent, but only if you have 8 or more lands from Strixhaven. We got a classic piece of Magic the Gathering art here. We got a chippy. It's Plague Spitter. Plague Spitter's not a very good card, but classic chippy art. And the original old border invasion frame. Dreadhound. It's a 6-mana 6/6 demon dog. When it enters the battlefield, you mill 3 cards. And whenever a creature dies or a creature is put into a graveyard from play, each opponent loses 1 life. That's a lot of mana for your Blood Artist, but this is not a bad Magic card. I've just never seen it played, I will say. Now, we have a card that has seen a ton of play and sees a ton of play in Pauper. It's Experimental Synthesizer. 1 mana artifact. As it enters or leaves the battlefield, you exile the top card of your library, and until the end of turn, you may play that card, and you can tap 3 sacrifice and create a 2/2 white samurai creature token with vigilance. Activate only as a sorcery. It's the samurai egg. Cheering Fanatic. When it attacks, you choose a card name, and spells with the chosen card name cost 1 less to cast. We opened one of these in a previous pack. God, this set is so friggin' huge. We just really have not seen a lot of repeats. There are just so many cards in this set. It's kind of awesome. Here's an Aura, 3-mana Aura Curse. You enchant player. Whenever a creature attacks enchanted player, put a 1/1 counter on it. Again, it's probably not impactful enough to see play in Commander, but that's funny. That's funny as a way to incentivize. I think you could have a lot of fun in your game if you play that, and you will make someone hate you. This is a 2-mana elf. That's below rate. Fine Magic card, but unfortunately, its slot is filled with a million better cards. Junkyard Genius. 3-mana 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, you create a tapped Power Stone token. Power Stone token's one of the weakest of the myriad of artifact tokens they've created. You'd think they'd be better, but they're just... I guess they're not good enough, and the cards they're on are not good enough. Queen, Itinerant Meddler, the 2-mana 1/3 Rabbit Wizard, where you tap it, each player may draw a card. Then each player who drew a card that way gains 1 life. I would never allow all my opponents to draw a card like this. I guess never is strong. Like I would play a Howling Mind deck, but there's something about this that's so direct that I don't like. Don't like. I don't know. White Border, Sword of the Meek. No one's doing fair things with Sword of the Meek. I mean, people are. I'm sure it's happened. But mostly this deck is to do broken things. The combo. It's definitely a whatever card if you're just playing it fairly. But the future of Magic. Is another combo piece. I think it's arguably the best 2-card combo in Magic currently. Certainly in CDH. It's Demonic Consultation. 1-mana instant, choose a card name, exile the top 6 cards of your library, then reveal cards from the top of your library until you've exiled your whole library. Is mostly how this card reads. in the way that people use it. Mostly this card is for exiling your whole library to win with Thassa's Oracle currently. 1 mana exile your whole library. That is a joke card I would print, and it would be busted. Because, like, theoretically, you could use this as a tainted pact to find an answer or something in a pinch, but that's not why you're putting it in your deck, certainly. And now for our joke card, we've got Flavor Disaster. It's a green 5-mana enchantment creature elemental pirate. 4/3 with reach. When it enters the battlefield or when it's turned face up, target creature gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is Flavor Disaster's power, and it has Negamorph for 1 and a green. You may cast this card face down as 2/2 creature for 3. Turn it face up for any time for its Negamorph cost, and put a -1/-1 counter on it. I guess the joke here is just like, it's just like gobbledygook. I don't know. This joke doesn't... I don't love this joke. As far as the joke cards go, that might be my least favorite. Because the joke is just, it's a fucking pile of words. I feel like you could have come up with a better pile of words for that. For being a pile of words. And then it also has that weird Negamorph thing. We've got Boros Elite with the Boros set symbol from the Boros dual deck. Because they did decks for each guild that had the guild symbol as their set symbol. It's really the notable thing about this. I'm sure that's what got it in these packs. A Crow and Phalanx, 4-mana, 3/3 human soldier with vigilance and 2 and a red. Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Yeah. It's like from that era where creatures are starting to get better, but they're not good yet. But they're getting there. Here's a card I play in my CDH Joy Over the Storm, Joy Over Weatherlight Captive deck, Muddle the Mixture, because it is a 2-mana counterspell that you can serve as a tutor for any 2-mana spell. That's sick in Singleton. You could find anything with a 2-mana tutor. You could find Demonic Tutor. I could find you anything. But I can't find you Tide Skimmer. Well, Muddle the Mixture. Demonic Tutor can find you Tide Skimmer. That would be a bad use of your Demonic Tutor. It's a 4-mana 2/4 Drake. Whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures with flying, draw a card. Yeah, I don't know. For your limited flying men deck. You got Cabal Pit. If you have Threshold, you can sack it to kill a small thing. It's not as good as the blue one. That one lets you draw 3 cards. Putrid Goblin. It's a 2-mana 2/2 with Persist. This is a zombie goblin. Or it's bridging the creature types. Or the tribal types. Not actually that interesting. You're not really gonna build a zombie goblin deck. You could put it in your zombie deck or you could put it in your goblin deck, but Onslaught. Classic 90s X-Men villain. Marvel Comics villain. Enchantment. Whenever you successfully cast a creature spell, tap target creature. This is the kind of card I look at and I'm like, yeah, this would be good and you could do things with this. I don't know that you can really do anything with that. I think then you're looking at your deck and you're like, what cards can I cut? Oh yeah, Onslaught. I can cut this. Furnace Punisher. 3 mana, 3/3 Phyrexian Warrior, Menace. Beginning of each player's upkeep, it deals 2 damage to that player unless they control 2 or more basic lands. What is this limited card that's like turned off specifically in limited? The hell? Bellowing Tangleworm. It's a 5 mana 4/4 with Intimidate, and other green creatures you control have Intimidate. This card's bad. If you're in green and you're playing a worm and it's below rate, what are you doing? 5 mana 4/4. But I do know green players, they see Intimidate on their green card and they're like, oh, we never get Intimidate. That's not ours. That's Red's thing. Or it used to be Black's thing because it was just fear. But then they made Intimidate. Intimidate wound up being more of Red's thing. Fear was Black's thing, but then Intimidate was Red's thing, but then they came up with Menace, and then Intimidate was no more. Plated Crusher. 7 mana, 7/6 trample hexproof. See, this is where you want to be. If you're playing a big dumb idiot, you want a big dumb idiot with trample and hexproof. That's actually big. Urborg Volcano, anyone? Classic Tapland. That doesn't fucking do anything else. Yeah, man. It's like a duel. We have Iron Scale Hydra. If a creature would deal combat damage to Iron Scale Hydra, prevent that damage and put a 1/1/1/1 counter on it. Iron Scale Hydra. Only one counter? What are we? Fucking... In 2020? What are we doing? We got White Border Throes of Chaos. What if you just paid 4 mana to Cascade? I know you like Bloodbraid Elf, but what if you just didn't have an elf? What if no elf? Okay, I think this is a future for Magic that we can all get behind. I don't think there's anyone who could have a problem with the future of Magic being Ball Lightning, where you pay 3 mana for a 6/1 trample haste that you sacrifice at the end of your turn. You know? This is clean, fair Magic. 6 coming at you. Trample. Haste. And our joke card for the pack is Yawgmoth's Day Planner. 4 mana artifact that has tap, pay 2 life, add black. You may cast spells from your graveyard. Only mana produced by abilities that cause you to lose life may be spent to cast spells this way. If a card would put in your graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Is that good? I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good. No, it's good. It's good because you can still cast Black Lotus for free. And that's the important thing. The important thing is you can cast Black Lotus or Lion's Eye Diamond for free from your graveyard, which is what makes Yawgmoth's Will good. You definitely don't want to play it as a rock. Because of the static ability that exiles all your stuff. If a card would be put into your graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Because of that line, you don't just want to play it if you're not comboing off. Because it will then cut off your ability to combo off later. It's why Necro Dominance is a much harder card to get to work than Necropotence. You can still do it, but it requires a little more forethought. Stone Cloaker. 3 mana, 3/2, Flying Flash. When it comes into play, return a creature you control to its owner's hand. When it comes into play, remove target card in a graveyard from the game. Combos with Alurin. Finally, we broke Alurin. I like this card. This is definitely the kind of nonsense I would try to make work. Back before Magic kind of outmoded that kind of dirtling. Because if you're getting to Alurin, then you're doing other fucking nonsense. Adamant Will. This is just a pump. This is not an exciting card. Boring. Now, good fair magic, you mean like Fate Stitcher stuff? What if I tap or untap my pingers? What if my pinger were 2 pingers? You know? What if my hexproof 1/1 that can't be blocked had lots of enchantments on it? What if my Boggle couldn't be blocked? What if I gave it Infect? These are just hypotheticals. Skin Thinner. It's a morph. Destroy target creature. But it's old enough that it's destroy target non-black creature. So you know it's good. Because it's limited. Apprentice Necromancer. Zombie Wizard. Tap, sacrifice this Zombie Wizard. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature gains haste. At the beginning of the next end step, sacrifice it. That's sick. Because this is not much mana. But they do get to see it coming and can kill it with Orcish Bowmaster, so fucking good luck. Cinder Cloud. 5 mana, instant, destroy target creature. If a white creature is put into a graveyard in this way, Cinder Cloud deals damage to that creature's controller, an amount of damage equal to that creature's power. I mean, it's 5 mana instant destroy a creature in red. Like paying above rate, but it is instant removal. You know? You know? This is one of my childhood faves. It's Keldon Champion. 4 mana, 3/2, Echo, with haste. When it comes into play, it deals 3 damage to target player. Why play Ball Lightning when you could play Keldon Champion for 1 more mana? And then 3 of the damage is direct, and then 3 of the damage is just on the body that you can say, either I care about this or I don't care about this. You know? You know? Classic Magic card. Iron Hoof Ox. 5 mana, 4/4. Can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. This ox is coming at you, and either you got something bigger than this ox or you fucking don't. No fucking teamwork here. Right? That's what I mean. Yeah. Elemental Wand. Whenever a creature with power 3 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. I think this just got outmoded. I think there's just better ones of these now. I think. Maybe you still play this. Power 3 or more is a little rough. When you could just draw off your elves or whatever. We got a Scarecrow. But Ulamog Uprising is 4 or greater, you know? You know? That card is just better, though. Because that one also, when it enters, you get to draw a card if you have the creature. That's big. Also, the trample's nice, but kind of irrelevant. Just extra words that you don't need for why you're playing that card. You know, modern Magic. Scuttlemutt. Tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool with 3/3, 2/2, and you can make target creature become the color of your choice until end of turn. Ha ha. Back when that mattered. Back when the idea of that mattered. Pernicious Deed. 3 mana enchantment. You can tap X, sacrifice Pernicious Deed, destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment with current mana cost X or less. This card is a house. At clearing out all your fucking artifact tokens. Pernicious Deed, very good against Urza Saga. Just cleans that right up. We have a repaired card. Veteran Explorer. 1 mana. 1/1. Human Soldier Scout. When Veteran Explorer dies, each player may search their library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield, then shuffle. Oh, you thought fucking fast mana is broken? What if we fucking all have fast mana? When you want to inflict fast mana on the table. We're playing fast, and you're gonna fucking like it. The future of Magic is a white dragon. Scale Lord Reckoner. 5 mana, 4/4 flying dragon. Whenever a dragon you control becomes the target of a spell or ability opponent controls, destroy target non-land permanent that player controls. It doesn't even say only happens twice a turn. But it does say an opponent controls, so you don't have control over it. And now we have starting town NPC. This little quest marker above his head. Each creature card in your hand has tap 1 and a green adventure sorcery named Fetch Herbs with you gain 2 life. And then that card goes on an adventure. Each creature card you cast from exile enters the battlefield with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. What if everything in your hand had adventure? Adventures for everyone. Fetch quests away. You're getting down to it. Let me take a drink before I keep going. I need more fluids. I'll be right back. I've returned. It's amazing how constantly talking while standing takes a toll on you and makes you feel like you're slowly dying. You know? Just all your human frailty and weakness comes to the surface. I'm fine though. It was more the runny nose thing, because I just like only doing this, you would give me a runny nose for no reason. Tristani's Judgment. 6 mana, exile target creature, then populate. That's a limited. That is some limited removal. Ace, it's your favorite card. And I'm being serious. It's Shepherd of the Flock. The 2-mana 3/1 human peasant that has an adventure where you return target permanent you control to his owner's hand. What a fun Magic card. This is fun. This is just fun printed on a card. All the goofy shit you can do with that card. Of returning your own stuff and protecting it. Military Intelligence. 2-mana enchantment. Whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures, draw a card. In Modern Magic, this is a white card. Turnabout. Choose artifact, creature, or land. Tap all untapped permanents of the chosen type until target player controls, or untap all tapped. I'm losing my mind. I know this card. This is not its first printing. This is a later printing. For some reason, the way the text on this was formatted made me think it wasn't the card that I knew it was based on its name. This is a great card. I love this card. It does so much. You can use it as a ritual. You can use it to fucking win the game by getting rid of all your opponent's blockers. Fun times. Mind stab is how I feel. I feel I have been stabbed in the mind. It's a 6-mana target player discards 3 cards, or you could suspend it and have them discard 3 cards when they have no cards left in their hand. You know, or you're dead. Liliana's Caress. Whenever an opponent discards a card, that player loses 2 life. I remember when Magrim was 3 mana and you fucking liked it. And people built the fucking Magrim deck and picked on people that weren't ready for it. Two mana and only opponents. Come on. Not making it work at all. Smash to dust. Choose one. Destroy target artifact. Destroy target creature with defender. Or it deals 1 damage to each creature your opponents control. One damage to each creature pull makes it a card you'd think about playing in Pauper. Let me say that. Although, God, I would kill for a... We're getting to the point where you need something that deals 3 damage to everything, honestly. With how good commons are. Battle Cry Goblin. 2 mana for 2/2. You can tap 2 goblins you control, get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. And it's got pack tactics. Whenever Battlecry Goblin attacks, if you attacked with creatures with total power 6 or greater, so like 2 other 1/1s in this, and you've used the ability, you create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. That's just fucking a lot of fucking stuff for this 2 mana 2/2. You know? We got good art. We got some Rebecca Gway. Norwood Archers. 3/3 can block creatures with flying. Also known as Reach. But before that was keyworded. Just quality art. I dropped all my cards. I got him. Feral Hydra. X and a green. For a Hydra Beast, it comes into play with X 1/1 counters on it. You can tap 3 and put a counter on it. Any player may play this ability. Just like constantly playing this in Commander and just constantly, come on, give him the counter. You know you want to. You know you want to. Please. Signal Pest. 1 mana 0/1 with Battle Cry. And it can't be blocked except by creatures with flying with reach. Classic affinity thing. I like Battle Pest. This is a good card. Hell's Caretaker. 4 mana 1/1 horror. Sack a creature. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this ability only during your upkeep. This had to have been like from a starter product, like Portal or something. Only during your upkeep. I wonder what set that's from. We got our white border for a white card. Either Sworn Canonist. 2/2 Human Cleric, artifact creature. Each player who has cast a non-artifact spell this turn can't cast additional non-artifact spells. Fuck you, Storm. And now for the future of Magic. It's Seeker of Skybreak. 2 mana for a 2/1 elf with tap, untap target creature. It was just really fucking broken with next to Priest of Titania. That is all. Um, Now for our joke card, it's Kozilek completed. 8, and then Phyrexian, where Phyrexian can be played with 1 colorless mana or 2 life. When you cast the spell, each opponent gets 2 poison counters. Then each opponent with more than 2 cards in hand discards equal to the difference. Annihilate effect. Whenever this creature attacks, defendant player sacrifices a permanent for each poison counter they have. Hell yeah. Phyrexian Eldrazi. Fucking give it to me. We got 4 packs left. Wakestone Gargoyle. 4 mana, 3/4 defending flyer. Tap 2. Creatures you control with Defender can attack as though they didn't have Defender. It's like it's almost like they're trying to make fucking Defender happen or something. In conspiracy. Raise the Alarm. Just a solid playable magic card, you know? What if you just got 2 1/1s for 2 mana and that was good? One of them didn't also need to become a planeswalker, you know? That might be a little much. 5 mana, Pour Over the Pages. Draw 3 cards. Untap up to 2 lands. Then discard a card. Back in my day, if they let you untap all your lands, and it was fucking broken. Don't give him ideas. If you're talking about Raise the Alarm, I'm literally just referencing Ajani from Modern Horizons 3. That's literally what Ajani from Modern Horizons 3 is. You get a 1/2 and a 2/1. Oh, you can zoom in on YouTube streams? That's sick. Mystic Speculation. 1 mana, scry 3 with buyback 2. Yeah. If you have infinite mana, though, you really want someone to draw a card, which does exist. It's just the buyback's like 5. Steel Strength. 2 mana, instant. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Another target creature gets -1/-1 until end of turn. You know, in limited, you can really screw up somebody's day. Particularly back then when creatures were bad. Reaper's Talisman. Artifact equipment. When a equipped creature attacks, it gains Death Touch until end of turn. When a equipped creature attacks alone, defending player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I don't know that I would ever play this. Nimble Bird Sticker. 3 mana for a 2/3 goblin with reach. What goes up must get stuck. That's it. That's just a creature. Shredded Sails. So this was cool because it was in the era of figuring out how to make cards like this playable in, like, more playable in Best of One Limited, I think. 1 and a red, you can destroy an artifact or deal 4 damage to target creature with flying or cycling too. So you have your specific limited answers, but also you can just cycle it away if they don't have anything that you need that for. Here's another classic Magic the Gathering card with classic Magic the Gathering art. It is Wood Elves. Comes into play. Search your library for a forest and put that forest into play. Not tapped. Next we have Vivian's Grizzly. 3 mana, 2/3 bear spirit with ability to, if you're just flooded on mana. This one still makes the cut in the bear deck currently, because it's not 4 mana. Bogart Ram Gang. 3 hybrid red-green for a 3/3 haste with Wither. Wither being pre-infect, worse infect, where it's just, it deals damage in the form of -1/-1 counters, but has none of the poison part of infect. Now we have Peer into the Abyss. 4 colorless, black, black, black. Target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and loses half their life. Round up each time. That's a lot of mana, but it's if you're casting that and you're not winning the game, you probably fucked up somewhere. Now we have White Border, Karn, the Great Creator, a 4-mana legendary Planeswalker Karn. Activated abilities of artifacts your opponents control can't be activated until your next turn. Up to 1 target non-creature artifact becomes an artifact creature with power and toughness equal to its mana value, which is pretty good. And its -2 is you may reveal an artifact card you own from outside the game, or choose a face-up artifact card you own in exile and put that card into your hand. Which is incredibly powerful, but I'm mostly playing cards like this in singleton formats that don't have sideboards currently, so that second ability is kind of useless. Even though I love that card. Yeah, Peer in Abyss' art is very good. And now we have the future of Magic. It's Death Shadow. It's a 1-mana 13/13 that gets -X/-X, where X is your life total. And in a world with fetch lands and shock lands and now bolt lands, you can make this thing very big very fast. This is a card people build decks around. And now we have our joke card. It's Arcanum Things. 1 and a white, artifact equipment. Equipped creature has flying. Equipped for 2. And equipment swap. 2 colorless and 1 white. Exchange this equipment with an equipment card in your hand. If this equipment was attached to a creature, attach the new equipment to the creature. That's sick. That's fucking... That's crazy. Yeah, I'm just attacking you with flying. Oh no, it's fucking... Cauldrons. Whatever. Some giant equipment that I now don't have to pay for. Cheating of mana costs. Good. Powerful. When you draft the set, you play with the joke cards, yeah. They're not legal in constructed formats unless you're, you know, deciding to do them. They're basically like silver border cards. Like from the unsets. But the way the set is designed is to be drafted at this set is designed to be drafted at conventions, so you play with the joke cards in that environment. Like this product isn't you could only buy it through a limited secret lair thing. Like if you're just getting it at home, because it was paid for to exist by the Magic convention team to have a product to run at conventions for silly times. Karametra's Blessing. This was really good in its time because there were so many enchantment creatures. Like in limited, this was good, I think. But I think this even saw some constructed play in standard at the time. I think I played it. Rambunctious Mutt. 5 mana, 3/4, and it enters the battlefield. Destroy target artifact or enchantment opponent controls. It's color shifted, fixed acidic slime. Because it doesn't destroy lands. Here's just a classic Magic card. Merfolk of the Pearl Trident. I like that it's old art, so it doesn't even say it's a merfolk. It's just a summoned creature. 1/1. Are merfolk humans with fins? Or are humans merfolk with feet? Think about that, Ace. Think about that. Then we have a Spined Megalodon. It's a 7 mana 5/7 shark with hexproof. And when it attacks, you scry one. It is a big boy. They're Vidalcan fish. Vampiric Link. 1 mana enchantment aura. This is a color shifted card, I believe. Whenever enchanted creature deals damage, you gain that much life. Because Spirit Link was a white card that this is referencing. Skeletal Worm. 8 mana, 7/6 with tap 1 black and to regenerate it. It's a big dumb idiot that doesn't have trample. Necromancers are judged by the most powerful undead they've ever created. There are those who have animated just a single being, yet are considered the pinnacle of their dark craft. Just reanimating something that's actually fucking useless, but it's fucking big, so your cred is better. What if you had another way to give it trample, though? You could be, you know, maybe you some other trample source. Don't besmirch my skeleton worm. Yeah, black doesn't have a lot of good ways to give trample though. Would be the other thing. All those good ways are in green. Until the turn, gain control of target creature and it gains haste. Untap and goad that creature. This is it's a multiplayer card. Is that Conspiracy 2's set symbol? Or is that Conspiracy 1? I don't know which is which, because I never played those sets. But this is a multiplayer card. We got Togo, Goblin Weaponsmith, 3-mana 2/2 Goblin Artificer. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, create a colorless equipment artifact token named Rock. With equipped creature has tap 1, tap, sacrifice Rock. This creature deals 2 damage to any target, and equip 1. This card rules. It lets you throw rocks at people. That's just fun. That's just fun time. Making rocks and throwing rocks. It rocks. Now we have a classic card that I love from my childhood. Beast Attack. 5 mana, instant. Put a 4/4 green beast creature token into play with flashback of also 5 mana. Just instant 4/4s. Just add mana. Prosperous Innkeeper. We've got a 2-mana 1/1 halfling citizen that when it enters you create a treasure, and whenever another creature enters the battlefield under control, you gain 1 life. Card I've seen a lot of play. This is just a good card. Good role player. Belbay's Armor. 3 mana, tap X, tap it. Target creature gets -X plus X until end of turn. It protects her from the ravages of Phyrexia and the savages of Wrath. I don't think this card is any fucking good. But situationally, maybe you can do a thing. Bishop of Wings. 1/4 human cleric. Whenever an angel enters the battlefield under control, you gain 4 life. And whenever an angel you control dies, create a 1/1 white spirit token with flying. Classic for angel decks. Good support card for angel tribal. Specifically. Our white border card is Fairy Macabre. A 2/2 3-mana fairy rogue with flying. Discard Fairy Macabre, exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards. I think this is seen play in Pauper in non-black decks, just as a way to freely exile stuff from graveyards. Yeah. And now we have a card that has been restricted in Vintage. Incredibly powerful, important in Doomsday decks. It's Gush. The future of Magic is Gush. There's a whole book about Gush. That's probably kind of out of date because it was written a while ago. But return 2 islands until you control to their own hands rather than pay the spell's 5 mana cost, and you draw 2 cards. Completely broken Magic card. Turns out this is busted. And then our joke card is Omnipresent Imposter. 2 mana for a basic creature shapeshifter, 2/1 changeling. Omnipresent Imposter has all card names. As you search for a library for 1 or more cards, you may choose Omnipresent Imposter as one of those cards. For example, if you search for 2 land cards, you may find Omnipresent Imposter and a land card. That's sick. I don't know how you're breaking this, but that's incredibly cool. That's so funny. I don't know what you're doing with this, but you're doing something. There is some worm that's like 7 mana that allows you to cast it from your library, but you have to pay the 7 mana. But whenever you're searching your library, you can cast it from your library. That's a real card. Avon Squire. This is a 2 mana 1/1 flying bird soldier with Exalted. It attacks alone. You get +1/+1. Now, when you attack alone with any creature, that creature gets +1/+1. That's how Exalted works. Glimmerpoint Stag. 4 mana for a elk. A 3/3 elk. On theme. For Oko things. When it enters, exile target permanent, and then return that card to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. Oh, it's like the fixed version of... There's a version of this that they had to ban in Standard because it returned it immediately, and then you could just like loop with a Planeswalker. With a Saheeli specifically in that case. We got a level up card. Halimar Wave Watch. You can pay 2 mana to level it up. It starts as an 0/3. At levels 1 to 4, it's an 0/6. And if you can put 10 mana into it, it will become a 6/6 with Island Walk. This is the answer to all your merfolk needs, Ace. Shoreline Ranger. 6 mana for a 3/4 flying, but it has island cycling. You know? This was the first cycle. This was from the first cycle of the land cyclers, which were sick at the time. Priest of Gix. When it enters the battlefield, add 3 black mana to your mana pool. You're not doing... This is not a card for fair things. This is a card for broken things. This is a combo card. This is a card for degeneracy. Human cleric minion were not the creature types on that card when it was printed. A Pedo Exterminator. A 3/1 wizard with morph for 4. When you turn it face up, target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. So you pay 7 mana, invest 7 mana into giving something -3/-3. Blazing Crescendo. Target creature gets +3/+1 until end of turn. Exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. That's interesting. The Pedo Exterminator. Oh, another fucking... We got Reckless Bushwhacker. A 3 mana 2/1 that also has Surge for 1 and a red. You may cast this card for its Surge cost if you or a teammate has cast another spell this turn. Yeah. So usually you're casting this for 2 mana. It's a 2/1 with haste, and if it enters the battlefield, if its surge cost was paid, other creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain haste until end of turn. I like that it's also just better if you pay the surge cost. It's less mana and you get more value. Utopia Sprawl, which is an enchantment aura that you can only play on a forest. But when it comes to play, you choose a color. You can, when enchanted forest is tapped for mana, its controller adds 1 mana of the chosen color to his or her mana pool. Extremely good Magic card, assuming you're playing forests. Spore Swarm. 4 mana, create 3 1/1 green sapling tokens. This card was certainly playable. This set had the most playable, was the most playable saplings had ever been. With the exception of like Verdant Force in multiplayer. Bonder's Ornament. 3 mana rock to add 1 mana of any color, and you can tap 4, tap it. Each player who controls a permanent named Bonder's Ornament draws a card. I don't think I've ever seen this card before. 3 mana rocks, generally not good. Part the Water Veil. 6 mana. Take an extra turn after this one. Exile Part the Water Veil. And it has Awaken 6. For 6 blue. So for 9 mana instead of 6 mana. You also put 6, if you pay that mana cost, you also put 6 1/1 counters on target land you control, and it becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land. So if they don't have blockers, you get to deal 12 damage to them or whatever. Yeah, I don't think the Awoken cost is part of the reason anyone ever played that card. Now we've got our white border card. We've got Yorion, Sky Nomad, the Bird, Serpent itself. I feel like I opened one of these already. But yeah, Yorion's a fucking house as their companion. I've played that card a lot. Now we've got the Future of Magic. And the Future of Magic is the second best combo, 2-card combo in CDH. It's Underworld Breach. A 1 and a red for a enchantment where each non-land card in your graveyard has escape. The escape cost is equal to that card's mana cost, plus you exile 3 other cards from your graveyard. In the beginning of your end step, sacrifice Underworld Breach. Only for broken things. And now our joke card is Your Wish is My Command, a 2 mana sorcery. You may cast an instant or sorcery spell from your sideboard. If you cast a modal spell this way, you may choose an additional mode. Wild. I guess you still have to pay the mana cost for that spell. This doesn't clarify on that point, but I think you still have to pay the mana. I feel like that's for like if you get another one of the joke cards, like the 6 mana. I think the 6 mana choose a Praetor thing is modal. Azorius Herald. 3 mana for a 2/1. Can't be blocked. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 4 life. And when it enters the battlefield, I'll sacrifice it unless blue was spent to cast it. 3 mana gain 4 life. Benevolent Bodyguard. Classic magic card. You sacrifice it, and target creature you control gains protection from the color of your choice until its turn. Plenty of busted things you can do with that defensively. Eldrazi Sky Spawner. A 3 mana for a 2/1 Eldrazi drone with Devoid. This card has no color. Flying. When it enters the battlefield, you make an Eldrazi Scion creature token that has sacrificed this creature, add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. This is what I'm talking about. If you're going to let me untap my lands, let me untap all of them. Counter 4 mana, interrupt, counter target spell, untap up to 4 lands. The secret is, though, that having to tap your 4 lands is still a big cost if you're getting in a counterspell war. Because you won't get them untapped again until it's too late. Hated that card. If you're playing at sorcery speed and your opponent is playing this card, though, that's a real bad time for you. If you're just playing creatures. Augur of Skulls. 2 mana, 1/1. Skeleton Wizard. 2 mana to regenerate it. But also you can sacrifice it to make target player discard 2 cards, but only during your upkeep. What a weird fucking card. Just like weird play patterns. I like this card. And Barter in Blood. Each player sacrifices 2 creatures. Good, fair magic. In the game of conquest, who cares about the pawns if the king yet reigns? Geth, keeper of the vault. Unfortunately, this was printed in Mirrodin. There was broken stuff going on there. Oh, Punishing Fire. 2 mana for an instant, deal 2 damage to target creature or player. Whenever an opponent gains life, you may pay 1 red mana. If you do, return Punishing Fire from your graveyard to your hand. Another red card, Bolt Bend. 4 mana for an instant, but it costs 3 less if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. And you change the target spell or ability with a single target. Another card I don't think I've ever seen cast. Even though I played that set. Season of Growth. 2 mana for an enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. Whenever you cast a spell that targets a creature you control, draw a card. I have seen this played. It's never quite impactful in the way you want it for this deck, but if it's going, if you get it going, you're drawing cards. You know. Ooh, good Mirage Art for Rampant Growth. Search your library for basic land. Put it into play. Tapped, shop your library. I've never heard growth before. Goin. Femeref Herder. This Pat Morrissey art. We've got Wall of Denial. 3 mana for an 08 defender with flying and shroud. Just like, nope. That blocks that 7/6 worm. We've got Narset's Reversal. Copy target instant or sorcery spell, then return it to its owner's hand. You may choose new targets for the copy. This is a card that always feels like it should be better than it winds up being most of the time. I will say. I would say. We got White Border Mystic Sanctuary. Just an absurd land because it is a fetchable island that can get you a card you need when you need it. Yeah, and now like our last thing for the future of Magic is Sengir Vampire, baby. 5 mana, 4/4 flyer. Wherever a creature deals damage to Sengir Vampire this turn dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Sengir Vampire. So you know, the future of Magic, it's looking classic. It's looking old school. And our last joke card is a land, Maestro's Totally Safe Hideout. It enters the battlefield tapped, and it adds blue, black, or red, and it has land casualty 2. As this land enters, you may sacrifice a creature with power 2 or greater. If you do, create a token that's a copy of this land. That's very funny. And that's it. No Oracle of the Alpha for me. Oh well. That was the card I really wanted to open. Because that's a digital only card that they only printed into this set in limited number. But, you know. So it goes. There are so many cards in this set, you can't expect to pull any particular one. That's all the cards. I'm out of packs. No more packs. I have no more packs to open. I could stream something else. I could eat and end the stream. I could play a video game. I can't buy more. This product is sold out. At least for now. The only way to get it now is at Magic conventions. Which I'm not going to, which is why I bought this in the first place. Let me make some... where are these cards gonna fucking go? You know? You know, I got this stack of Magic cards. And it needs to go away. It's in the way. You know? That's a box. That's a one box of Magic cards right here. me get the whole thing on camera. Get out of the way, Spider-Man. Childhood rare binder. Still need to move more stuff. This area is so friggin' crowded. That's good enough. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're gonzo. This gun is gonna get caught. The Lord of Tressorhorn here. Oh, this is picking up all the glare. All the glare. My Raging Kavu. It's so hard to see. My Chromium. My Warping Worm. My Skeletal Ship. You know? You know? A land page that's mostly empty. My foil Memnarch. Metalworkers are actually worth money. Because they haven't reprinted those. Leveler. Fair Magic. Tika's Dragon. 9 mana 5/5. Counts as a dragon. My Sword of Kaldra from, I think, my first pre-release. I think this is my earliest pre-release card. Black Vice. This is the one. This is the one I liked better than the Rack at the time. When I learned about those two cards. This is the one for the punish opponents that have more than 4 cards. If you're holding your counter spells, fuck you. Legacy Weapon. This was a big one for me. Just because, you start removing your opponent's permanents from the game. Really really fucking exile them out of the game. Grindstone. Good Magic. Aladdin's Ring. Classic. Terrible Magic card. Winter Warb. When you want to not have anyone to have any fun. Static Orb. Eon Hub. Players skip their upkeeps. Classic Magic cards. Ink Eyes. Servant of Ania, another pre-release card. Vampire Nocturnus is another pre-release card. For the M10 pre-release, I guess I went to. Darkmoor Sorceress. Just good, bad Magic cards, Classic. I love Phyrexian Infiltrator is another one to make people fucking hate you because you just steal their things and you interact with the stack in a way that they don't understand, where you get to take their thing and they don't get to take your thing. I love Devouring Strosses. 9-9. It's a 9-9 though. I remember I opened Revered Demon at a thing. It must have been the pre-release for Mirrodin. I don't think I ever got to cast it. Maybe once. Minions of the Wastes? That's a card for not cowards. When you play it, you pay any amount of life, and that's its power and toughness. Yeah, that's Apprentice Necromancer art I can get behind. One with nothing? The worst magic card? Maybe not the worst. One with nothing, not playable. No one ever broke it hard enough for it to be worth it. The problem is Lion's Eye Diamond exists if that's what you want to do. What if you did that effect without paying mana into it and you got mana? And it was a permanent you could recur, you know? That's a liability, which is what this card is. There's my 6th edition Doomsday. Zephid. Zephid is like when you realize, oh, blue is just has everything. What if you countered all their spells and then you played a thing that they can't target? And then you just get to, you know, own the whole game. That was when I truly became a menace as a Magic player. Vildrix. 7 mana, 6/6. Doesn't even have a downside. Unlike Thing from the Deep. Where you have to sacrifice an island whenever it attacks. We got Gifts Ungiven, Mind's Desire. Some good cards. Squeeze, which is a tax effect I don't think I've ever seen anybody play. Or just sorceries cost more mana. That's not a wide enough thing of spells that you're hitting. My foil, Blatant Thievery, though. Before I ever played EDH, I was playing Blatant Thieveries in fucking multiplayer games, baby. Sunder? That's just good, clean, fun magic. I definitely built 60 card decks that had 4 Sunder in them. Because I'm about having a good time. Kiyama First Stand. That's another card from a pre-release. There's Armageddon. See, the problem His Armageddon is a sorcery. Sunder is an instant, baby. You play Sunder and you get to be the first person to play the land. Again. That's such a big difference in a multiplayer game. Opalescence. Test of Endurance. Celestial Dawn is a very funny card. Makes all your cards white, including the ones in your library. Ryusei Falling Star. Kiki Jiki Mirror Breaker foil. Oh, there's my Goblin Welder. I was just wondering where my Goblin Welder was. It's just in here. Okay. Bloodshot Cyclops. Classic fling style card. Goblin Sharpshooter. Just a fucking menace when you're playing against people who are all on elves. Crimson Hellkite. Deals X damage to target creature. Target creature. Repeatable. Portal Earthquake. Allosaurus Rider was another pre-release card. Dirt Cow Worm was one of my favorites for multiplayer. Whenever any opponent plays a land, put a 1/1 counter on it. Thorn Elemental. The first rare I opened in a booster pack that I got myself. No longer a rare. This card is an uncommon now. Oh, my Thorn Elementals, though. A starter Thorn Elemental, baby. I even traded one of my Thorn Elementals at one point. That's how I got Chromium. I traded Thorn Elemental and a Verdant Forest for Chromium. I didn't really know how Verdant Forest... I didn't understand how Verdant Forest worked at the time, I will say. I thought that card was worse than it was for multiplayer. I thought it gave everyone a 1/1 Zapperling, not just you. Because just you seemed too good. It's like, I can't be reading this card right. That's too powerful. Giving me a 1/1 on everyone's turn? Absurd. Impossible. Xantid Swarm. This is how you solve the blue player problem. This guy right here. Whenever he attacks, defending player can't play spells this turn. I've seen this played in Vintage. The turn off counter spells. Nine though. Oh yeah, nice damage card. Hell yeah. My Force of Natures. When I finally brought in a deck to play with the people who would play lunch at who would play Magic at lunch during high school, I brought a green deck that had 4 Force of Natures in it. And it had Joriel. I like play a force of nature. Someone kills it. I play another force of nature. What the fuck is going on? Food chain. Broken magic card. Plow under. When you really want to have someone have a good time, put 2 of their lands on top of their library. There we go. Okay. I just wanted to go through that on stream. But I think I'm going to call it there. Ooh, I need to dust this off now that I've cleared out some of the stuff that was in the way. I'll do that before the next time I stream something here. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. I'm going to call the stream and figure out some food stuff. That's it.